tone. Just like this is the greeting version and all that kind of stuff, like a Pokemon, I don't know.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing if he's got that on the case. But anyway, we have gellehsak not opting for the Nyx this time, opting for the Ranger. I do like that. I think the Nyx can be slightly defensive, where the Ranger gives you the option to go aggressive.
How's he not dead?
I don't know.
So much damage, but the rockets come in again. Clawz will finally go down, sort of trapped in the corner there. Again, that's shotgun. I thought it would finish it off, but gellehsak picks up the first kill, and that's a really nice position to be in, as I would say the underdog perhaps in this
I would go out. I haven't seen him enough, but I just think on Clawz's reputation and what I know about the two players, Clawz has to be the favorite. The unusual thing is that they both started with the Anarchy, when traditionally, recently, we've been seeing the Sorlag favor, just how powerful it is on this map. So either way.
Ooh, here comes the Clawz machine with Sorlag, and the LG will take down gellehsak. gellehsak, I think, expecting to have the engagement go slightly differently. The rocket sort of popped Clawz towards gellehsak, and then it became a bit awkward, and then there you're sort of committed. There's only so much you can do. But a re-engagement here off the spawns,
okay,
and Clawz will make the next frag.
Some nice sevens coming out of there. I was just about to say, the nice thing, and it's for both frags now, he hasn't used the spit, which means gellehsak really needs to be careful for the next engagement and just try and avoid Clawz.
Going with the Ranger. So, interesting, we don't see the Nyx from gellehsak in that sense. That's of course what you were predicting.
I was predicting it, but the Ranger gives you the option with the die roll, which is obviously potent against the Sorlag. We've seen it a number of times already this tournament, but also substantially in practice, that given the hitbox and the size of the champion, you can do that to great effect. But also, as we've discussed on previous streams, the Nyx is weak against the Sorlag, and I think he might have expected that to be the biggest hurdle playing Clawz.
Well, it looks like Clawz is going to discover the location of gellehsak. Oh, trying to go for that telefrag over the die roll, failing though, and there's the pursuit. And it is interesting with the die roll dynamic, just for and choosing that instead of going for the Nyx. Maybe it's one of those, as you say, I feel like I'm the player that perhaps shouldn't on paper win this series, and I'm going to need something a bit crazy to do that, and the die roll sort of offers that, as opposed to being like, I'm going to play Nyx, and I'll play him out smart with the ghost walks, try to play the game where you feel like I am the better player. Tries to go for the variance a bit more with the die roll. Yeah,
I completely agree, but it's never going to be that's the only reason why you pick it. It's just something that can be highly effective. It's more the fact that the Nyx is very vulnerable against the larger champions, in particular the Sorlag. But Clawz is gellehsak's doing really good against the Clawz Anarchy, but it was the Sorlag that caused the problem last time.
Yeah, it's a good pick up, that frag, and again showing the proficiency of the speed, power speed that gellehsak has on that Anarchy, and he's got to be careful. Again, one of the things we've seen so far with gellehsak is that he's been caught, it's sort of been caught off guard by Clawz and Catch, and then basically in a spot where he can't disengage properly and then just goes down. And this is another situation. He runs into Clawz, taking a route that Clawz expected, and gets finished off rather easily. So far, the tone of these first few frags that we've seen in this does make Clawz look like the better player.
I would say so. I mean, he's taken out Clawz Anarchy fairly easily, but as soon as Clawz gets a foothold on the map with Anarchy, we can see him doing almost taking quite light work with gellehsak, taking strong positions and just bullying him away from any items, but catching him off guard, as you say, multiple times, which is quite unusual.
And so Clawz now just biding his time as he stacks up on another light armor, 100 for him. And now we have gellehsak playing by the Tally exit, sort of cornered there in a small way. Obviously, the Mega's 10 seconds away here. Clawz is just trying to get some damage should gellehsak try to make an escape. And also because Clawz has position on the rest of the map, he can beat gellehsak to any item. So it really benefits him to stay here as long as possible. gellehsak knows he has to move, and there's not much he can do from that position.
He made a bit of a hash brown with that whole kind of situation. He should have just manned up and balls out of there. But yeah, just being a little bit too cautious, maybe too much respect for Clawz's LG. There we go, trying to hit the die roll on the riskiest one I've ever seen. But this is the problem, as you mentioned before, in that it is an all-in play. And if it doesn't work, you're just going to give away a free champion because you're stuck in a situation with no get out.
Absolutely, and so far Clawz seems to be looking to manage himself pretty effectively, quite composed, maintaining his equanimity.
Oh, I like that.
There you go. Another fancy word for composure. I learned that from Tasteless many years ago, actually. To use on his fast a lot. Shout outs to him. gellehsak going down again to Clawz. Doing quite well. The Anarchy surviving with 10 HP. I don't think he used the inject as well, actually. I think he kept that up.
He used it mid-fight and in both.
Right.
Yeah. But this time we can see what Clawz's Anarchy can offer, because we haven't obviously seen it so far. And not a lot is dead yet.
Way to go, cast a curse.
Yes, indeed. But it's once again, it's the Sorlag. We haven't even seen this Sorlag die yet for Clawz. So that's step one for gellehsak.
And it looks like gellehsak's going to get a good engagement here. Catching Clawz off guard for once. That's nice, but unfortunately for him, Clawz will turn around and quite easily dismiss him with the rockets.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, again, a little bit of a mincemeat of the whole situation. And missing one rocket, the spit didn't really connect. Wow, going in, that was a really risky play. Almost as if he had given up on life.
It looks like gellehsak in some of these spots doesn't have the confidence that he can actually outplay his opponent.
We said at the very start he's content to be at this stage, but that's not saying he doesn't want to win. It's just that I think he knows Clawz has a superior skill set and was trying to use relatively quirky tactics to get around that, and it just didn't pay off. So again, I do expect that he sat back from his death and felt that hyper-aggression didn't work. Maybe I do need to sit back a bit more.
And one thing he may not be used to as well is how hard Clawz will be hitting him. Because that's also a really big difference, that if the practice pool you're up against,
exactly,
and people that you're playing don't hit as hard, you sort of base your decisions more around by taking less damage.
Yeah, 100%. If they are the type of the plays that you would get away with in practice against less aimers, you're right, then it's something you would have been doing, and now it's not working. Sure, it took a whole map to realize, but if he has realized that, maybe it is time to reassess.
And there's a nice start to Ruins of Sana. Looking to ruin Clawz with a quick rail, and stack will be ruined for the time being, but it should be back up into a good state soon enough. Looks like the challenge comes onto the Mega there from gellehsak. Get the pick up on that one. So gellehsak in the driving seat at the moment, looking to see if he can do something to continue to pressure Clawz. But I mean, we had this conversation earlier, not later, not coming back from the future, but earlier we were talking about how the war of attrition is not really a thing in this game so much, as you can reset the situation so much. You have to be able to close down the kills.
Yeah, and one of the key reasons obviously is the abilities, the fact that you can then reset instantly with an Anarchy. The other reason is that the major items aren't such a big influence anymore, that if you fall back and take a couple of small items, then you're basically on even keel again. So you need to pick your fights and finish your opponent almost in that fight, because as you say, it's not a slow game where you can just grind them down over time necessarily. But it does seem that gellehsak learned his lesson from the previous map. Maybe he just really was not comfortable on Corrupted Keep, because so far it's been a solid start. He's hit a couple more rails on Clawz, and Clawz is playing relatively hesitantly.
And Clawz looking to find his opponent there at the heavy armor. Some good rockets there to set him at arm's length, but a good connection on the rail will allow Clawz to keep the aggression up here, and we'll see him go straight for the teleporter there, but it's gellehsak with the rocket, a very well-placed rocket to finish off Clawz and maintain the Anarchy, which has been so good for him, finding another good rocket there, sprinting around the corner, the combo with the rail, and gellehsak, he's doing it, man.
He's doing it. That was awesome. I thought when you're charging in there, no, you're going to get spat on, but he managed to evade it, hit a nice rocket to rail combo, and he is now 2 champions up against Clawz, killing that Sorlag for the first time this game.
But still, there is a Nyx to deal with. He's not gotten to this point before, but that's a good start there. Good connection. Nyx, very small hitbox, very annoying to connect those rails onto, but there goes the Ghost Walk. Very aggressive stuff from Clawz. After taking the round, gellehsak's so stacked, this surely is the round. It will be. gellehsak will drop Clawz there, and
too aggressive from Clawz, and very nice from gellehsak.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get himself on the boarding after seeing the first map. It was definitely looking quite bleak for gellehsak, but can he get a good start here with his Anarchy again? Because that's our fear, I think, for gellehsak. Should he lose the Anarchy, that his efficacy sort of drops quite significantly. But we'll see if that's the case on this map.
No, he needs to. He still needs to get a rocket. He still needs to get a rail. But this time again, playing very carefully. Good respect for Clawz's aim, and keeping an awareness of Clawz's position before he moves on any of these weapons. Nice double back.
Oh, gotta be careful there. Vander can move so quickly. Oh, Super Shotgun not good at this range. Doesn't have any weapons at all. This is so awkward here for gellehsak. If he can get out of this alive, he'll be very happy, and he will be able to do so. And not just that, picks up the... Oh my god, surely not. Close range for the SSG. It's the only gun that he has. Oh my god, he gets the kill with the SSG Super Shotgun. And now he's going to follow up with the LG onto the Sorlag. Clawz in trouble right now. There's no escape. Back against the wall, trying to get the spit down there to make it harder to close the distance for gellehsak. And gellehsak indeed will be zoned away.
Exceptional play from gellehsak. Unfortunate to finish off Clawz yet. And I think, looking back, he'll be like, well, maybe I do have a chance. And he really can look to steady the ship.
I can't believe he had nothing but a Super Shotgun.
It's pretty powerful, man.
Escaped that situation.
When I saw him take that red, I knew exactly what he was going to do, and he didn't hit anything for the first shot, but it was exactly the right move. But
crazy stuff.
That is the high risk, high reward play we're seeing from gellehsak, but this time the actual decisions he's making are far better.
Here's a good stack now to work with. He waits Clawz to approach the heavy armor position. gellehsak will be able to hit sound cues there. In comes Clawz. Good rail, but the heavy will replenish the armor lost, and a great follow-up rocket from Clawz will decisively deal with the very troublesome Anarchy from gellehsak. And Clawz must know at this point it gets easier from here. That's a great connection, misses the shot, but through the telly will gellehsak go, and there's the pursuit from Clawz. Got to be very careful with this one. Down quite low, both players missing close range rails. That's very awkward. And it's going to be gellehsak that picks it up. 22 health remaining.
Yeah, that was a very awkward situation with 3 missed rails apiece, but gellehsak in with a chance to go 2-0 up on Ruins of Sarnath. Only again the Nyx to deal with. Clawz this time needs to be definitely reassess the situation, because his aggression on this map is not paying off this time. Particularly with that Nyx, if he does pop that Ghost Walk, last time, as we said, he went hyper aggressive and it just didn't pay off. So again, please just play it a little bit cooler.
And just taking it easy once again, looking for good positions to work off of. Always got to be thinking about where you're standing, what the engagement and disengagement possibilities are from that position. Don't want to overcommit yourself anywhere.
Exactly, and that's the way in which gellehsak's Anarchy died on this map, taking the wrong position on the side of the stairs, trapping himself in that doorway. It's those little things that can really win or lose you games.
It's an interesting spot now for gellehsak due to the fact that Clawz was able to win the fight for that Mega. Did pop the Ghost Walk to do so though, and we can see a passage play, which is going to start to become quite aggressive. It was passive for ages there, but the Spit's doing quite some damage. Clawz very low here. Let's pick up the bubble though.
He is very low, but the amount of damage that Clawz put out there must have been 100% lightning gun, because gellehsak was almost fully stacked and he went down to 56 HP. He needs to get out of here now.
That's really unfortunate for Clawz. I mean, unless a big mistake comes in from gellehsak, or he does go for the engagement, and double rail coming in from Clawz. He might want to finish this off now, trying to close the distance as he goes closer. Another rail connected, but over-aggressive perhaps, and gellehsak will take the second round.
Slightly over-aggressive, but the fact is he popped his Ghost Walk to get there, and then he was trapped. His only realistic solution was to hit everything, and he missed one last crucial rail, and it cost him his life.
Round 3.
gellehsak having a good time of it so far. Going close in with the machine gun. Unfortunately, it's no Super Shotgun. We'll be able to back off for the time being and collect some items. All the guns except the rocket launcher now, or the major guns that you'd want to have in this situation. gellehsak will actually once again spot Clawz in a position where it's hard to escape here without an engagement. It's up to gellehsak whether or not an engagement happens here. Ooh, I think he messed up the rocket jump here. Yeah. And it's actually juking and jiving. I'm not sure what's going on with this movement, but it's working here for Clawz, as gellehsak will get out of dodge.
That was again a very awkward situation with a couple of mistakes on both sides. I think in that situation, if it was me, I would just man up and use the actual raw speed to try and get out, because as we all know, Anarchy is exceptionally annoying to hit with the railgun. Either way, somehow both survive alive, but now Clawz is really on the back foot with no stack to work with.
Ooh, is gellehsak going to time this well, dropping down to the heavy. Will Clawz be aware of this? Gets the rail connected. Will that be the cue to go in? Another rail, and that's a very dead gellehsak, but he manages to slither his way out of that one. Back onto the Mega, but incredibly weak. Has to go for it now. Had the rail up, had to hit that shot. Can the Rockets do the damage? They cannot. It's gonna be Clawz who picks up the frag, and Clawz still rolling on the Anarchy, or rather, I suppose, hovering.
Hovering on the Anarchy, indeed, yeah. It was a good play coming out from both sides, as we see a bit of aggression coming out from some random play from gellehsak. Yeah, a bit of aggression from both sides, but great timing from Clawz just to push in at the right time as gellehsak was waiting for that mega health.
Now catching gellehsak, going for that Daro play. We saw it almost as an act of desperation every single time in the previous map, and Clawz is back in it. gellehsak, he picked up the first 2 rounds, but is that all that there is to be for him, as Clawz likely is making some adjustments as the playstyle of gellehsak has changed somewhat on Ruins.
Indeed, and that was much better played from Clawz. Working the items better than previously, and just it was a couple of mistakes from gellehsak as well, so we'll see how he does this round as Clawz claws his way back into the game.
Looking to go use that high ground. Some damage off onto gellehsak. He connects a rail as well. It could be quite problematic. Oh, got to be very careful here. gellehsak laid the trap by the telly with the rockets in hand, and Clawz completely misread the situation, and that will be the end of his first champion in this round.
Yeah, exactly right. Misreading the situation is what happened. We were talking about how aggression can win you games, but they can also lose you games, because that was not the situation to push in.
Yeah, just didn't consider a rocket could be close there, and very nice from gellehsak to capitalize. Still, it has to go further than that. He's got his back against the wall. Oh, quick rocket jump though, but he will be body blocked by Clawz, and there goes the spit as well. So it's a great idea from gellehsak. Actually, I think quite unfortunate with the timing.
Yeah, definitely. I don't believe that Clawz was anticipating that. He was just in the right place at the right time. And now gellehsak is stuck with only a rocket launcher to work with, which is not a great position to be in.
Yeah, great connections from Clawz, hitting both rails. Remarkable stuff from him now as he looks to try to put the pressure onto gellehsak after just picking up that mega, picking up the heavy. Now's the time to go. It's a very stacked Sorlag.
It is, and that's perhaps the most difficult position to be in a duel, is when you're facing a Sorlag with aim that likes to use speed and also has a stack to work with. And
great flick.
Great rails.
And that will be that there for gellehsak, and very fast round. Clawz making it look much more decisive. It seems to be on Ruins that each round, well, round to round from the very beginning, it's like very tough for Clawz, got slightly less tough, then Clawz just about picked up a round, and then that last round seems like it was pretty easy for him.
Yeah, the perception I get is that gellehsak is obviously a very, very great player, but as soon as he's on the back foot, he kind of loses his way a little bit, and he gets himself in difficult situations by not really thinking what he needs to be doing on a defensive. When he's in control, he's exceptionally good at rotating the items and keeping awareness of Clawz's position, but that's not exactly true when he's on defense so far.
Oh man, 2 big rails, and Clawz knows Anarchy is very squishy. 1 bullet of machine guns, all it takes. And we know how much of a big loss that is for gellehsak right now. Losing the Anarchy is going to send his confidence down surely. As gets caught with the Sorlag there on the bridge. Very easy LG, and can't pick up the mega during the fight. May have made the difference, but Clawz now 1 kill away as we see the desperation, the Hail Mary Darobs coming out again. We're used to seeing it from gellehsak. Has not worked out for him once just yet. Pursuit is good, and that's it for Clawz. He will take map 2